starting out with the Health Coach University, so I'm super excited about this section. You guys are going to see it's a little different. It's, again, new stuff every single time, so it's going to be really, really cool to see how these coaches are going to train us on that. So with that said, I'm going to bring up Coach, I'm sorry guys, do I say pin levels here? Because yes, because the coach's training. So you guys are going to see that now. This is going to be more Herbalife related because this is a coach's training. So now we're going to speak, like global expansion team member Carlos Prieskorn, okay? So you guys get it? Just so that's the space we're coming from now. It's very important that we're present to the space that this training is going to be in now. Health Coach University. So with that said, I'm going to bring my good friend, global expansion team member Carlos Prieskorn, and millionaire team member Michelle Mama McCoy!
What did you guys think of the morning so far?
Yeah!
So again, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name's Carlos. When I got started my nutrition program, I was really upset, didn't know how I was going to get the weight off, and really didn't know what to do about it. Randomly got on a nutrition program, fell in love with this community, and since then, I've been plugging away, impacting other people's lives now. Going on 4 years this October, and I absolutely love it. And one of the main reasons that I chose to actually stick around was based on the support I was getting from all sorts of people. And one of the people that I got a lot of support from was Michelle McComb. And she's one of those people to where, while I'm not in her organization, I can call her anytime I have a question about anything. Whether it's business related, whether it's with working with clients, whether it's, hey, what color should I wear my suit to be when I go to the STS, to actually having in-depth relationship conversations as friends do. So, she's got a really big heart. She cares a lot about what she does inside and outside Herbalife. And because of that, you guys, she's a powerful woman because her heart is so big. So if you guys can get super, super loud and welcome up, Michelle, come.
Thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here. I just want to share with you, oh my, I'll probably already start crying. Sure, not a show, but so. I've been so impacted by this company. Before I got started on my nutrition plan, I was in my early 20s and I felt miserable. I had no energy at all. I would literally cry myself to sleep because I felt so bad. And I just thought, this can't be normal. People cannot be operating this way. And I had no idea it had everything to do with my nutrition. I got dialed in on my nutrition plan. And it was like the best gift in the world to me. My energy went up. I felt phenomenal. And if you just looked at me, you would have thought that I was really, really healthy, but I wasn't. And so by getting the results that I was able to get on my nutrition plan, we knew other people probably felt that same way, how I felt before, and we really wanted to impact our community. And so Nathan and I really took that on, and as Nathan shared earlier, we've been able to impact our community. And I just want to share on an impact side, this business is so incredible for so many reasons. It has really impacted my family. One of my biggest whys was so I could be a stay-at-home mom. I never saw my mom because she was working 2 jobs. And, we'd come home from school, we would clean the house, we had a list of stuff I had to do. She would come home, cook dinner, and then it was like time for bed. I never saw her. And I knew she wanted to be with us, but she had to provide for us. And so I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And this company has given me that opportunity by really plugging into our coaches, plugging into the support structures that are available. I get to be with him every single day and really just pour into him, and it's so amazing. I'm so thankful for that. It's just such a gift, and I'm really recognizing now that he's going to go off to school. And like, oh, how amazing that is. I just cried for no reason. So it's been amazing. And, just to see that we can actually take that impact and give that gift to so many people in our community through their finances, their families, their relationships is just amazing. So I'm so excited to be up here with you. I'm actually going to hand it back over to Carlos so he can share more of his story. But I just want to tell you guys, we all love Carlos so much. He is such an amazing human being. But the type of person, like his heart and how he contributes, the level that he contributes, just as he said, like he can call me for things, I know I can call him for anything and everything. and he will either have an answer or find an answer. And he's not just like that with me, he's like that for every single person in this team and every single person in Herbalife. He is committed to growing his team, this team, and Team Michigan, and all around the country. I'm so honored to be up here with him, so thank you so much, Carlos.
We learned a lot about impact today, you guys. You know, with me getting my results, I've lost over 147 pounds of fat, but I'm probably also in the process. And what this does for you mentally is so powerful. Like, I feel like I'm a brand new person. I was completely depressed, upset, hated life, hated the way I looked. Always thought that people were poking fun of the big guy walking down the hallway or whatever. Like, I just felt that way. You know, you see those little kids on cartoon shows when someone's walking the hall and they're like, a boom, a boom. Like, I felt like people were doing that for me. And it was just a heartbreaking experience throughout almost all of my high school years and then post-military as well when I gained all the weight back. So for me, like, the impact of me getting healthy was great for myself, but I really do treat this as if it's almost like a nonprofit. So like we see the Relay for Life thing up here, and people always want to volunteer and help out with a cause and be a part of something bigger in their community and make a bigger community outreach. Like, that's how I feel about what we do as health coaches. Like, I always treat this like a nonprofit. Whether I got paid or not, I would still help people come to Fit Club. I would still help people get on a nutrition program because of what it did for me. So there's that part. On the flip side of that, with being able to generate income by helping people, the impact of that is so huge, you guys. My dad has had like 5 different cancers over the last 4 years, and it's one of those oxymorons to where he gets the cancer from his work environment, but if he quit his job, he doesn't have enough tenure to keep health insurance to pay for all the drugs and stuff he has to take. So my goal right now is to impact on people's lives so that I can afford to bring my dad home permanently. So with that being said, we're going to dive in this section. This section is an abbreviated section, so keep in mind that this normally would take about 2.5 hours. We're going to go a bullet point style with you guys on what you can expect from a Health Coach University, and then what some of the topics are, and what you definitely want to make sure that you're interjecting with each individual role. So I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to kind of take us through that.
Okay, so throughout this Health Coach University, there are a lot of different topics, so we're going to break these down topic by topic. So your notes should read Health Coach University. First topic is the pre-meeting, okay? The pre-meeting is incredibly important. So with the pre-meeting, it's 15 minutes, and this is where everybody's getting together to really set intentions for the day and to volunteer for roles. Okay, so anybody is welcome to the pre-meeting, and this is a great space for people to really step up in leadership, contribute at a higher level. It does not matter the pin level, everybody is welcome. And so what's really cool is you get to see as a mentor, so you know, if you're a mentor and you're in the room and you have all these people coming in for the pre-meeting, you get to see who the people are really interested in growing in leadership and contribution. So it kind of gives you like a clue card, like, okay, who am I really pouring my time into, right? Because those people want to step up in leadership. So we start by setting the intention. We go through the roles. You guys heard some of those this morning, and then we have outlines. If you don't have those outlines yet, you'll get the outline, as well as a recorded call that you can listen into to get more information on that. So we set intentions, we distribute roles, and it's a major part of developing leadership. So in the pre-meeting, you're going to start with acknowledging all the first-timers in the pre-meeting. That's really big. Okay, so even if it's one new person, you acknowledge the heck out of that person. They are stepping out of their comfort zone, coming to a meeting that they don't know what to expect, or really how to maybe even show up, so acknowledge that they're there. That's really big. Then you're going to introduce the speakers for the event, and then the list of sections to volunteer in. And Carlos went over this earlier, but in that pre-meeting, so when the host of the pre-meeting is going through the sections, and they're taking everything down, it is super helpful for people to raise their hand and say their name. You know, and so what becomes super fun is you have this game of people like kind of playfully fighting over who can contribute first. And I love the atmosphere and the environment that creates. So people are like racing to contribute, like, no, I want to do chairs, I want to do chairs. And it's really cool to see that. We have so much fun in our pre-meeting. Okay, so 15 minutes, already told you that. So then after the pre-meeting, we've got about 30 minutes, and that's the time that we're welcoming guests, okay? So the timeline's gonna be broken down in your outline. So people are signing in, they're getting their tea, they're taking their seats, they're getting ready for a really powerful day. You can do some introductions with people. This is like the start of relationship building. So if I have a new person coming into Health Coach University, I'm going to be introducing them to some people at this time and starting that relationship building. Is everyone clear on that? Okay, great. So I'm going to pass it to Carlos to go over the next section.
So the first section of the day, you guys, is the supervisor school. And this is a super big deal. The reason that everybody wants to come to the supervisor school is that it's going to be something different every single time. So what I really want you guys to think about is like how this really kicks off the day. So the host is going to come up, set the intentions for the supervisor school, edify the speaker before the speaker comes up. But most importantly, you guys, we're re-recognizing who the new supervisors are since the last supervisor school. That's a big deal because they're in this meeting for the first time. They don't know what to expect. They've qualified, so there's like that little pitter-patter on the inside, like what's this going to be all about? What do I need to do? Do I have to contribute? Do I get to contribute? I hope I get to contribute. And they're like all jacked up about it. So like it's a big deal for them because it's the first time. So make sure you make it a big deal for them. And then as far as the speaker comes up, you guys, this is amazing because the speaker really gets to let it rip. Like really let it rip. So a couple of key things that I recommend that you do as leaders if you're within your own nutrition club. As you have a speaker coming in to do your supervisor school, it could be a tab team member that's in your existing organization that works out of your nutrition club, or it could be a tab team member from a sister organization or within this greater organization, or even not in this organization. So think about who you could be inviting to do your supervisor schools. And you really want to prep them to speak about what the team really needs to hear. Who here, by a show of hands, agrees that we need different things at different times along this journey? Yeah. So this is very important for the coaches who are helping bring these supervisors in, or the people to do the supervisor schools, to coach them, hey, the team really needs this right now. They've been requesting it. They've been really thirsty about it. They requested you as the speaker months ago. We finally hooked up with the STS. We booked you. And this is what they're dying to hear from you about. And then that speaker's going to come in and let it rip completely about that section, which is really, really cool. And then he returns it back to the host. The host is going to acknowledge the speaker for everything that they delivered. And then we're going to get further instructions as to what the next steps look like. And so once the supervisor school's over, the host is giving next step instructions on how to bring the rest of the people in the room. So there could be people waiting outside ready to bust in this room. If you have multiple rooms, maybe there's a bunch of people out here that are non-supervisors waiting to get into the classroom so they can be a part of Health Coach University. And what we really want to do is we want to give clear instructions on where people need to be and how quickly they need to go from one space into the other to actually start the next meeting. And that takes about 30 minutes. We're going to let those supervisors come out, mingle with their new guests, mingle with some of the other people in here, match up all their new members that this is their first time that are training like this with people that are like-minded people, and then funnel back in for the next half of the day. You got it? Say I got it.
Yes.
Awesome. So what does the host do after that, Michelle?
Okay, so the host, there are two hosts for the Health Coaching University, and they're really setting up the rest of the day really powerfully. Okay, so they're going to share their stories. You guys heard that today. So result stories, impact stories, really how the company's impacted them and how they've impacted other people. And then they're going to really talk about what you guys are up to in your space. Okay, so in your club, in your team, really what your mission is. So like if we were here, we'd be talking about the answer and the answer's mission. So everybody's very clear on that mission if you're working in this club. So for us, it's really impacting our community, right? Really getting everybody in the best shape of their life, whatever it is for them, and really getting them healthy in their body and their mind, and getting them plugged into a community that supports them, okay? So you want to let people know what you're up to in your community. It makes a really big impact. And then of course you let them know your philosophy. And it's that all of our philosophies as a health coach, that 80% nutrition, 20% fitness, and 100% mindset. And you're really explaining how throughout the Health Coaching University, they're going to be hearing that philosophy. And then what they're going to do, you guys, is they're going to be introducing the next speakers for the next section. So it's the Advanced Nutrition and Fitness section. So you guys are going to want to write that down. Advanced Nutrition and Fitness. That is a 20-minute topic. So this is what's cool. So the Health Coaching University happens every Saturday. And these topics, so like advanced nutrition and fitness, it's that same topic every Saturday. So it's like that same header, right? But the topic that the speakers are speaking is different all the time. So really like in the wellness workshop, how we had that nutrition piece, and it's going to be different every time. It's the same type of thing in the Health Coaching University. So people are really engaged every single week. It's not like you're coming and hearing the same thing over and over again. They're really learning something new every single week. So what you guys want to focus on, because it is advanced nutrition and fitness, obviously you want to make sure that you're hitting something. So hitting weight loss, hitting fitness, hitting lean muscle gain, hitting moving the body. Like some of those things are obviously going to be included in that. And then you're going to have 3 pre-selected results shares to come up and share their nutrition results. Okay, so here's the thing. You got to make sure you want to make this note. Those are pre-selected. And those people are prepped to powerfully deliver their story, okay? So it's not just like who wants to share. And then the host will come back up, acknowledge the speakers, and give instruction on how the shake break's gonna happen, which Carlos will go over that.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to add with what Michelle said about the structure of the advanced nutrition training, she talked about losing weight, gaining muscle, maintaining weight. Those basics that come in the catalog, there's gonna be a lot of new people that are in the room. So teaching them those basics right there, maybe for the first 5 minutes, 2 shakes a day, tabs 3 times a day, 1 main meal to lose weight. Teaching them on basics first, and then for the next 15 minutes of your section, going out with what you personally are doing to get results for your customers and how you're setting them up on the nutrition programs. And then with that shake break, you guys, it's so powerful because there's so many people in the room for 2 different reasons who are hearing 2 different things. So maybe there's a new person in the room who's like, man, I never heard about setting up my program that way. I want to find out how I can get a similar program to what was taught, and those people are going to be scheduling wellness profiles with you. So that's happening on the shake break. Okay? The other thing on the shake break is maybe you have somebody who has already gotten results. So like I said, I've lost 147 pounds of fat. Like I've been picking Jay's brain now for the last couple months. Like how do I get the rest of this 20 pounds off plus put on all this extra muscle? So there's going to be people in the room who already have great results, and they're listening to the people that just did the advanced nutrition section. And they're like, man, I want to get next level results. Like I've gotten from here to here, I want to go here to here now. And so they're going to hear different topics every single week, as well as how they can continuously improve their results. And that gives them the opportunity to go mix and mingle with other people, say, hey, I've noticed what results you're getting. Can we schedule a health profile and go over like where I started from, where I'm at today, and where I can go in the future. And it's all 15-minute shake break, you guys. So this really does give you the time. It's designed 15 minutes for a reason, to meet with your people that came for the very first time, get their immediate feedback, and then schedule them for whatever their next steps are going to be, whether it's getting a wellness profile, whether that is learning how to make a bigger impact on people, whatever it is. Like take that 15 minutes and network like crazy. Have your calendar with you, whether it's a paper calendar or whether it's your phone calendar or tablet calendar, and be booking those appointments on the shake break. Another key part, Tim talked about massive contribution. Every single person, every single time, gets a shake no matter what. Think about that. If I'm getting a shake every single time, and all the coaches are getting a shake every single time, pretty soon all of my guests that I invited, they just know, like, we gotta get a shake every time. And it's just habit. And as a result, everybody's going through all these shakes. We're getting new PowerPoint projectors for the club. We're getting new paint for the walls. We're getting a bigger club because all of a sudden we went from 50 people to 250 people. We need bigger space. Like that's what that's for. So super powerful on that. And then what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to wrap that up in a very subtle way to get people in their seats and to get them to kind of calm down, because we get excited when there's a shake party, don't we?
Yes.
I get excited. Do we get excited when there's
Yes.
a shake party? So we got to calm people down a little bit, but we also want to get their attention focused to it's time to learn. So the best thing to do to get people back in their seats is to play a 5 to 7 minute personal development clip. And I would probably, if it was me, relate the personal development clip to whatever you had your supervisor speaker talk about in the supervisor school. Just like the theme of the day. A lot of those you can get off HBN, so just go to myherbalife.com, download it there. There's things you can find on YouTube, there's all kinds of things, but that gets people in their seats, they're ready to listen, we dim the lights, we watch the video, and pretty soon it's like everybody's ready to go. You got it? Say got it. Got it. Okay. And then the next section is excelling as a health coach, you guys. And this is a 25-minute section, and this is really cool because the host is going to come back up. They're going to introduce the speaker powerfully, so people are listening like, I got to listen to this guy because the host just said this is the type of leader they are and how they're going to contribute, and I really want to hear that. And this could be a range of different topics. For me, inviting is very important. It's a big topic where people are kind of uncomfortable. So maybe we're going to teach a little bit on how to invite, different techniques to invite, how you can actually go out and do fun things to invite. Like I just learned about how to scavenger hunt invite. Has anybody ever heard of that? a couple of you. Alright, so I'm going to throw this guy out there, blow him up. Sean Hackey came up with scavenger hunt inviting, so I asked him about that on the break. Again, why you stick around for the shake break. Or it could be about building a business, like how are we going to actually get client retention? What are we going to do as a group within our fit clubs, or what are we going to do as an individual health coach, making sure that we have high retention? So what does our follow-up system look like? My follow-up system probably looks very different than some of yours. But what's great about it is it works for me. I guarantee you there's some other Sapphire Rubies in the room, 25% of you, and my follow-up system is going to work great for you. So you're going to want to come hear my section on that. Some of you guys are complete emeralds like Michelle, and if I was to do her follow-up section, I would just my customers would fall off because I couldn't do her style of follow-up. But guess what? There's 25% of you guys in the room that need that emerald style follow-up. So you're going to want to come and listen to how she's doing that. Most importantly, you're going to want your new people to come every single time so they can find a system that works for them. Okay? And the last thing I want you guys is just making sure that we're focused on getting health results, being completely passionate about how we're getting the health results and how we're following up with people so that it's fun and exciting every single time. And all you want to do is go out, get people on products, get them health results, and do it over and over and over again. You guys get that?
Yeah.
It's all your chances.
All right, give it up for Carla. All right, so I just want to add to the shake break part. So you guys see throughout the Health Coaching University, there's some structures where you can really build community. So you really want to make sure that you're really building relationship in that time. This is a relationship building company, so you want to make sure you're doing that. And then the point where you said all the coaches are getting their shakes on the shake break too, you guys. What's so great is as a health coach, we look the part of a health coach, right?
Right.
Yes, yes, that's right. You shake your head and you say right.
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 Okay, so great. So even if you're making progress towards your goal, you represent the product. So it's so great. I think what's amazing about it is everybody, it's not like lunchtime and people are just eating their food or whatever and their snacks. Every single coach is going to get a shake. So it's like they're seeing, okay, so how I get the result and look ripped up and look fantastic like all these people as I do what they do. I come to Health Coach University, I implement what they're teaching, but I also implement what they're doing. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. So the next section we're going to talk about is marketing plan. So marketing plan, what I noticed when we went there in the Health Coaching University, it was a really short section. It was 15 minutes. And so what I liked about that was, does anybody find the marketing plan a little overwhelming if you're brand new in the business? Okay, so I'm an emerald and it still took me like a year to figure out the marketing plan. Nathan was like, don't worry about it, as you make money, you'll start making sense where that money's coming from. Like, okay, got it. So what I thought was cool is it's not like an hour section on the marketing plan. It's 15 minutes on the marketing plan. I'll tell you how they do it, but it also leads to promotion of the STS. Okay, because for all the emerald type people that really want more details, you're promoting okay, make sure you're going to the Battle Creek STS September 20th because they're going to go through all the marketing plan in so much detail. You're going to learn every single thing you need to know to get to the goal that you want. Does that make sense? People are going to go because it's almost like you're teasing them a little bit about the marketing. Okay, so they go through member through supervisor, and they recognize every person that has advanced to one of those levels since the last training. Now, I had a conversation with some people in California, and they said what is great is they really use the Health Coaching University week to week for promotion. So if I have a coach, Carlos, and he goes to his first Health Coaching University ever on Saturday, the next one is the following Saturday. He's a brand new member, and he's seen all the recognition of all the senior consultants happening on the first one that he goes to. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm telling them is, Carlos, that can be you next week. All we have to do is take your result, share your result, impact 2 to 3 people. Do you know 2 to 3 people that you really want to help on these products? Do you have someone going to say yes? So I'm like, great, get them in, let's do their profiles, right? You can get them into your Healthy Active Lifestyle events, the Wellness Workshop, where you're booking their profiles, and next week that's going to be you going across the stage getting recognized for senior consultant. Do you think he's a little bit jacked up? Yes, that's where again you say yes.
Yeah. I would love to.
Yeah. So you guys use that every single week to promote the recognition that they're seeing. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
If you didn't know, I love feedback. So that's why I'm asking you guys to say yes. So throughout the marketing plan, as we have like our senior consultant share and our qualified producers, as we have them being recognized, we're gonna ask like 1 or 2 people to share. So if you have 15 new senior consultants, because it's a 15-minute section, we can't have every single person share. So we're gonna pull 1 to 2 people out, ask them to share. Same with QP, same with Sue. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So the next section from there is the Builders Academy. It is a 30-minute section, and this is really gonna cover how to build a team. Does that make sense? That's why we call it Builders Academy, okay? So the speaker can cover what they choose. Again, so every single week it's a different topic, which is really great because it keeps people engaged. But a couple of the things that they want to hit are stability. So of course, building a business, but making sure that we have a stable business as we're building. Growth, of course, right? Because we want growth in our business. Active supervisor. So we really want to make sure that at some point we're not recognizing, but speaking on active supervisor. And then also duplication, because we are a business of duplication. Now there are several other things that you can make sure your speakers are covering. Those are just 4 things that you want to make sure you're including within your section. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I'm going to hand it back to Carlos for the second shake break and the post meeting.
Yeah. 2 things I want to add with what Michelle said that I got as really clear distinctions are in the marketing plan section, you guys. Notice how she didn't say that they recognize Gap Miller Press. Like, we have people in COTS all the time, they're qualifying, and it's a great thing, right? Yeah?
Yes.
We really want to take that time and really focus it on the new people going from brand new member all the way up to supervisor and active supervisor. For the other positions past that, what we recommend that you guys do is recognize those people at your end of month party or your mapping party or whatever you guys are doing in your local event structure right now. Celebrate those people there. What that's going to do is, let's say that Michelle just hit press team and it's time to recognize her. We're not going to recognize her on Saturday. We're going to wait till the end of the month party. Why? Because if we're recognizing Michelle at the end of the month party as a brand new President's Team member, don't you think that almost the entire organization is going to show up at the end of the month party now, which is also a mapping party, to help celebrate Michelle? Yeah. So now what you've done is you're in celebration mode with Michelle for hitting President's Team. The whole organization is there celebrating that they contributed to that. And you have almost your whole organization in the room now doing the mapping party as well, mapping the next month for success. So again, strategically done for higher retention at all events. The other thing that I saw that she mentioned in there was for this Builders Academy. It's great to have different people. Again, I'm going to edify this so much. It's great to have different people come in and teach what they're doing in building their business, because we do all have different personality traits. One of the people that I really look at that like mastered this concept more than anybody I know is JJ McCuskey. With the different things that he does throughout his event structures and the different things that he implements within his team, just sitting back, like really sitting back and listening to him, I can be like, he pulled that from Mark Addy. He pulled that from Jill Baumgartner. He pulled that from Tim. And as a result of him being in all those different trainings, who Jay has become is really a collective of different things that he's completely fell in love with from other leaders that he's molded together to make his own. So when you're bringing different people in to speak on those sections, be participating yourself and just take what you want and mold yourself around all the different things that you're getting from different speakers. So on this next shake break, guys, this is where we're actually closing out the whole section of all the new people being in the room, all the coaches, and we're going to have a nice little party out in the main section of the club. And this is really just to get some feedback. Like, what are your next steps? Let's go over that program that we just talked about for you that we scheduled on that first shake break. Let's see what we're doing for the rest of the week for new fitness events that are coming up. And really just mixing and mingling and continuously building relationships. While that's going on in the other room, about 15 minutes in, we're going to have the next section start taking place in the classroom. So they're completely separate rooms happening simultaneously. And that's the Masters of Contribution, you guys. This is coaches who are like, I want to make an impact. Like, I'm in this to make the biggest impact I can. Whether it's me plugging in 2 hours a week because that's all I can afford right now, or whether it's me playing full out, full-time Herbalife as a health coach, okay? And what this is it's really teaching people how to contribute differently at different events. So, If I was to pick on somebody, let's say I picked on Tony, and I was like, Tony, I want you to duplicate everything that you saw here today by yourself with your team. Go do that. Do you think that that's realistic? No, there's a lot of stuff to cover, right? It took us hours of phone calls to do this, and 4 days, 5 days out in California to pick up what we got. And it's very, in anybody's, educational role, unless you're like one of those people that got like a spot on memory. Like Brandon could probably do this. Brandon's got like a photographic memory. It's kind of scary, actually. He can tell you what title is on what page and what chapter of the book on the 56th line. It's like crazy. But not all of us have that. So these Masters of Contributions, they're really training you how to lead different sections of different parts of an event in small chunks. So while we were out in California, the section that they were covering is how to have a successful post-Fit Camp event. So what does it look like to end Fit Club, and then to go over the different sections in speaking, which you'll see later. How do you say what you're going to say first? Why is it important that you language it that way for people? Why is what you're doing after that so important? How are you getting people to actually come up and get recognized within the event? And then what are you doing for the shake party? And that's almost, I would say, probably about a good hour section teaching you how to take care of a 15-minute section. So literally, we're spending an hour with you guys educating you on a 15-minute roll after Fit Club. But by going into that hour and doing some role playing within the hour, like bringing up some of the new people, okay, this is what we just talked about, that you try it on, mingle it together. All right, here's some celebrates and creates and how you can improve that for when you do it live. Who's not going to want to step up in a leadership role when you get an hour of coaching on a small 15-minute section? But let me tell you that 15-minute section after the Fit Club is the most important section of the Fit Club. Or let's say we're talking about how to be a powerful host. Who wouldn't want to spend an hour in a Masters of Contribution training, and then all of a sudden they can come up and they can be a host at a Fit Club, they can be a host at a wellness workshop. Better yet, they're now the MC at the SCS. So that our Masters of Contribution section really does teach you powerfully how to be massively impacting in short periods of time. I don't know about you, but I'd rather make a big impact in a small amount of time instead of making a big impact and keep people here all day. So I encourage you guys to, if you want to be making huge differences, this is a bonus event. It's not part of the Health Coach University. But I guarantee you the people that stick around for that training every single week and get new bits of information are going to be the people that are growing the fastest, because their leadership and the way that they communicate to people is going from here to here. So are you with me?
Yeah.
So I just want to add to the Masters of Contribution. I love that kind of section. So I stayed for primarily that whole thing, and what I noticed was a few things. Whatever they're teaching on, they have an outline for that that's uploaded to the team page. So for people that really can learn that way, where they cut off an outline, they have the outline in front of them, then they're listening, that's great for those people. And then they have the person that's leading the Masters of Contribution really speaking about, okay, this is what we're covering in the outline, here's what we're going to do today, and they're actually delivering it as they're saying it, right? And the why behind each section. Why do we say it like this? Why do we do it like this? Why do we have this group of people up? Why do we have this group of people up later? So people are really understanding the why behind every single thing that they're doing. And when people get the why, it clicks. It makes more sense, and then they're able to step into that power play. And then they actually have people doing it up on stage. So like with that post section that Carlos said, they actually took volunteers. Okay, who wants to learn? So they have them come up on stage. Now here's what I noticed. It was like kind of quiet for a minute, right? Because all these people don't know how to do the post yet. So it was kind of quiet, and they were like, okay, who really wants to learn and make a bigger impact? And then like hesitantly people's hands raised, and they went up because they know they've never done this before. They're probably going to fumble a bit. What was so cool is that the speaker made it like a really safe environment for them. So they said, like, listen, they acknowledged the heck out of them for getting out of their comfort zones, and then they let them know that it's okay to make mistakes in here. This is where we want to make mistakes, so we can teach you from those mistakes, and then you're more powerful when you're actually doing it. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so in that time, they actually had 2 sets of speakers go out, practice the post, gave them feedback. They sat down, and they said, who else wants to do it? 2 more sets of people go out, practice the post, and then they go sit down. So you're really teaching people every single week on different sections. It can be how to share your nutrition story, how to share your impact story, whatever you feel like your organization really needs, every single week it's changing. And then just to make a note, whoever's leading that section knows how to do what they're teaching. That's super important, and it might be a detail that some people say like, well, they're great at speaking, so they're probably great at this. Make sure that they've done it, and they're really powerful in their delivery of whatever they're teaching. So they're teaching from their experience and not just the outline. Does that make sense? Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like what Michelle just said, that like people that are learning, so you don't have to be perfect right away. She's not here today, but I love her to death. Jill Baumgartner is an amazing MC at an STS. She's just phenomenal out there. But you guys, I've caught her making 3 mistakes on stage. But we keep putting her up there because she learns every single time. She gets a little bit better every single time, 1%. But she's so powerful up there. She's literally going from here to here to here. So if you're not perfect your first time in an event, no problem. Keep plugging into that training so you can keep grooming that skill. So what we want to do now is, this I know is a very compact section, so I need 2 things. This is not part of the Wellness Workshop or the Health Coach University, but can my power crew please exit the room and go set up for Fit Club, please? Power crew. In Collins, where you guys at? Are they already up there? Perfect. Thanks, team. What was I doing? Oh, Q&A. Yeah, we know this is a very short section for you guys, and like we're just going through this bullet point stuff, but what are some structural questions that you guys might have? And I mean structural as in like what the agenda looks like, or for me, I'm a how-to person, so I'm like, why do you make this go after this? Or why is it important that this is 5 minutes and this is 15 minutes? Those are very key distinctions, and they are designed that way intentionally. So any questions like that from anybody? No questions. Denise.
I have a question.
Can you stand, please?
In Health Coach University, we were talked about after that, talking to people who are setting wellness profiles. Who's invited in that section? Because I think in Health Coach University, this is new people.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Yeah.
So is it anybody that's coming up?
So here's a great distinction. Her question was, who was invited to that section and why? So here's what I'm going to remind you guys. During all the fitness events, we're giving 3 key distinctions. You're here for the first time, you love the environment, the community that you're part of, and you're just like, I want to keep coming and hanging out with you guys, so I'm going to come back to the next event. Or maybe you have somebody that was brand new, and they're like, okay, I heard the second step about the results, and I want to get the results, and I want to book a health profile. Or let's say you have a new person there, right, at the Fit Club, and they heard number 3. Man, I heard about all these people making an impact in their family, and all this and that. The other thing, you know, I want to be a huge agent of change, and I want to make an impact in my local community. So the very next event could be that Health Coach University. They might not be on products yet, but they were so impressed with what we did at the Fit Club and how people's lives were being touched that they were sold immediately. They were more set on the vision of what could happen for people's lives and the impact that they could make versus anything else. So the Health Coach University might be their first thing. And we all know that no matter what you came into Herbalife for, the number 1 thing you gotta do is you gotta give them the products. So for them to be in that nutrition school in the morning, the advanced nutrition program, very well could be a chance that they haven't had a health profile yet, because it's the first time that they really heard about it. So we're just edifying. If you want to grow, you have to have the health profile. Great question.
I'm just going to add to that too, Denise, because you said a part of like the relationship building, how we were talking about that. Think if you have a brand new member, so even if they're already signed up, and maybe this is like their first or second Health Coach University, but then you have all these coaches that have been in for a year or 2 years, they've really had that time to create the bonds. So it's really a great time to get that new person into that community and really, so they don't feel like, oh, these people know each other, right? They're like, oh my gosh, I'm being introduced, and they're making those connections with everybody on the team, so automatically they're feeling like they're part of the family.
Great question. Other questions? Yes.
So after the
Can you
second,
stand, please?
so after the second shade part is kind of when it kind of is ending, right?
Correct.
Pulls up right after that.
Yep.
Okay.
So a great question. After the second shake party, that's when the meeting's winding down, most people are leaving. Yeah, the only people that are really staying for the later half of the day for the Masters of Contribution are what we terminologize here as bust-free coaches, coaches that really are building a business, wanting to make a massive impact. So great question.
And then I'll just add to that as well. So think of like how we saw it in their club. They had like a training area and then like the club area up front. So the training area, the Masters of Contribution was going on over there. The club area, people stayed and hung out. Like they don't want to go home, like ever. They don't
They
want
get
to go
kicked out of the
home.
club.
Yeah, they just want to like hang out and, you know, like at the wellness workshop, I think it was like 10 or 10:30 and people were like kind of laying on the couch and I was like, you gotta go home, you know? So it's not like meetings done, Masters of Contribution, you know, that type of thing. It's still definitely.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. You said there's 2 shake parties. Are they charging $5 for both of those, or is one of them the $5?
Great question. So we contribute every time, okay? So if we're part of the shake party in the beginning of the morning, we're gonna get $5 there. Again, that second shake party, it's really for the people who are sticking around and mingling. So they obviously are gonna contribute another $5 for another set of tea and shake. But some people, if they're just gonna hang out, it's not mandatory that they have a shake for that second shake party. It's just an opportunity for people to hang out, get to know each other, and then book some appointments, mingle, stuff like that. Great question. Going once? Going twice?
I have a question.
Oh.
Tanya. Under the Masters of Contribution section, you mentioned they have an outline posted to like the webpage. Is it for the Masters of Contribution for that day?
It's for that week.
It's
So
for
like
that.
whatever that, so if the topic is how to share your nutrition results powerfully and effectively, they would have an outline on that topic that would go out on the coach's page so people that want to stay for that can print it out. And then the next week, what if it's like how to share your impact story powerfully and effectively, then it would be that outline created and posted to the site for that week so people could print that out. Does that make sense? That I saw.
What was the question?
Is that the only night that they have that outline?
By providing, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, because it's not really an outline for what the event's going to look like. It's more of a study guide. This is what we're going to teach you. Yeah, great question. Other Q&A? Yes? Can you stand, please?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. So for the
And
advanced...
really quickly before he starts, the reason we keep asking you to stand is because you matter and your voice is important. And we really want you guys to get that. So we ask you to stand because you are important and what you're asking deserves to be heard by everybody.
So for the advanced nutrition and forget the title, the 3 people that are pre-selected, do you want to have an idea like weight loss, muscle gain, and energy as those 3 people, or does it just not matter at all? It's just kind of whoever's there for that night.
Great question. It really does depend on what's going to be focused on in the pre-meeting. So if we're having our pre-meeting, we're requesting that people are contributing for that. And it really is the first 3 hands and names that go up. Now keep in mind, a result is great physically. Like we all have great physical results. But if you notice, the most important part was how they felt. And everybody has feelings. So if somebody put on muscle, or they lost fat, or they just maintained and had better energy, while those results are great, everybody's connecting to the feeling and the emotion that they got through that share. And yes, the physical result is important, but the emotional part, I think, is the best connection for everybody. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Any other questions? So I just want you guys to keep in mind too, there's, like we said, there's a recorded call of the breakdown of how to run a Health Coach University, as well as an outline on how to run it effectively as well.
Perfect. So I'm going to give you guys some next steps. This is not part of Health Coach University. What we need to do is a couple things. So do not move because I need everybody to hear these very clearly. As soon as we're done speaking, we're going to pack our chairs up and we're going to funnel them into the classroom and stack them along the far wall. If you need to have 2 stacks, one in the front door, one in the back door, that's completely fine to make things faster. After that, I need everybody, if you'd like to, you can leave your belongings in here, but put them against this wall here. Everybody will leave. We're going to do our pre-meeting for the Fit Club outside in the parking lot in a nice circle. Have your $5 in your hand ready to go. After the pre-meeting, registration and your contribution for your shake and tea will be open at the table outside of the door. You will sign in out there. You will pay your $5 contribution. You'll be given a cup. You'll bring that cup in here, and you'll be instructed further as to what to do with that cup. After you've done what you got to do with that cup, you will exit out the door and go to the field for Fit Club. You got it? Say I got it. Got it. All right, let's clean up. 1, 2, 3, clean up. Yay!